Hello and welcome to the Sawalha-Adderleys.
Yes, and good evening to you all.
Welcome.
You'll have seen from the title what this is exclusively about, because I think we all need to just talk about this, do we not? We're all reeling a bit from the astonishing statement.
Yeah.
As we always do ask right at the beginning, if you could just hit the subscribe button, it really helps us out, guys. It's just the two of us, and we really appreciate it. And as ever, if you can share any Gaza videos so that some of the noise that is being spouted out there, you can maybe just other people can see another side.
Yeah, if you haven't, please do. I'll make sure that the link pops up just up here or up there. I can't remember which side it appears on. Do check out Coffee Moaning this morning. We played a clip of Jeremy Bowen joining the aid drop over Gaza, and it's just incredibly revealing and incredibly telling.
Jeremy Bowen, very well respected.
BBC
is reported from Gaza and the Middle East for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And he's very, within the restrictions, he's very damning of this whole food drop.
So what we're going to talk about now is one topic. The title is UK to recognise a Palestinian state unless Israel agrees to a ceasefire, and various other kind of issues like not annexing the West Bank. So we've put in the title, what does this mean? And
people are already giving us some ideas. Gabrielle, exactly. Yeah, You're not sounding negative. It's just the way that it is.
Well, let's do that thing that you do at the beginning of an essay, where you put a quote right at the front and then you discuss. So let's hear from the GIMP himself. Here's Keir Starmer.
On the 7th of October 2023, Hamas perpetrated the worst massacre in Israel's history. Every day since then, the horror has continued. The hostages are still being held today. The Palestinian people have endured terrible suffering. Now, in Gaza, because of a catastrophic failure of aid, we see starving babies, children too weak to stand, images that will stay with us for a lifetime. The suffering must end. Yesterday, I discussed this with President Trump, and we're mounting a major effort to get humanitarian supplies back in by air. And UK aid has been airdropped into Gaza today, and crucially, by land. We need to see at least 500 trucks entering Gaza every day. But ultimately, the only way to bring this humanitarian crisis to an end is through a long-term settlement. So we are supporting the US, Egyptian and Qatari efforts to secure a vital ceasefire. That ceasefire must be sustainable, and it must lead to a wider peace plan, which we're developing with our international partners. This plan will deliver security and proper governance in Gaza and pave the way for negotiations on a two-state solution. Our goal remains a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state. But right now, that goal is under pressure like never before. I've always said that we will recognise a Palestinian state as a contribution to a proper peace process at the moment of maximum impact for the two-state solution. With that solution now under threat, this is the moment to act. So today, as part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution. And this includes allowing the UN to restart the supply of aid and making clear that there will be no annexations in the West Bank.
I heard nerves in his voice. Can you hear the?
I was confused as to whether he'd gone into a sort of hubris where he was moved himself by the occasion, by the solemnity, by the generosity of of him and his government.
No, I don't. I'm not saying this in any effort to humanize or empathize or sympathize. This is a mess all of his own making. And diplomatically, I don't, we're going to talk about, it's a really interesting conversation to be had about what can be diplomatically done, what should be diplomatically done, what's considered brave diplomatically. There is all of that diplomatically, but then there's humanity-wise, there's human-wise, there's morality-wise, which don't necessarily chimes with diplomacy. But
Lots of people very angry.
Very angry. But the one word in there, and I'll have a read through everything that you've got to say, guys, is one word in there.
And the point that MeTube is making as well is interesting.
The one word in there that serves to confuse everyone and baffle everyone is unless. That's the word that, for me, when that word came in, I was on the train coming home and I texted Nadia and I said, hang on, I also sent this to you, MeTube. So hang on, Starmer will only recognize a Palestinian state if Israel doesn't meet the most basic of international requirements and ceasefire requirements. So basically, if Israel stops slightly or steps slightly towards what Starmer demands,
which he knows they won't,
the UK won't recognize a Palestinian state. This is upside down logic.
This is the most bizarre thinking and wording, because if you don't believe that Palestine should be recognized as a state, then you shouldn't be saying it. Because that's what he's saying.
I totally agree.
How this comes across is he's just using it as a weapon.
It's a bargaining chip.
Now, we know that won't be the truth behind the scenes. They want to do this. They want to recognize Palestine as a state. But it's all stitched up with all the corruption and all the threats from the Americans and Israel.
Who do we know that from? Who do we know that from?
No, well, it has been decades, hasn't it?
I mean, everyone has said it.
I think alone in their bedrooms, they know. That's what I mean.
Do you really think?
I think they do. I think you can't look at this situation.
Hang on, the leader of the Conservative Party, and I know the Conservatives aren't thought of as much anymore.
Don't mention that woman.
No, but Kemi Badenoch has said in no uncertain terms that she does not agree with anything. She doesn't agree that there's a famine. She doesn't criticize Israel.
She's not upset about the starvation. She said because that's the war. That's war.
And if she's like that, then I guess Reform are like that. And Tommy Robinson's like that because he's clouting people in fucking stations.
Allegedly.
I mean, right, let's go through some of your comments.
So that's what it feels like, doesn't it? It feels like what he's saying is, well, we don't think Palestine should be recognized as a state. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it as a bargaining tool. But this is where it gets confusing, because he 100% knows that Netanyahu will not agree to any of those conditions, that high bar that's been set. He's not going to do anything. Which means that he's categorically going to recognize Palestine as a state. And that is, whether we like it or not, in diplomatic circles, that is a big thing. Because France and then all these other countries will follow.
I slightly disagree with you.
Well, I'm not agreeing. I'm just saying.
No. I genuinely don't think that this is a very... What you're describing there is quite a sophisticated, not that sophisticated, but quite a sophisticated game of poker, where what he's saying, look, I know you're not going to do this. So by saying this, I'm calling your bluff. Nobody, Toffee and Chi-Chi are two cockapoos, would know by now that Netanyahu will not agree to any of the stipulations that he's given. No, I agree. But I think that he's so fucking stupid that what he's saying, I disagree. I think he genuinely thinks that this, alongside France and other countries, might exert pressure. No. Are you mad? Are you serious? Are you serious? I genuinely... That you think... He hopes. He hopes. You think... I mean, what do we do? That he thinks there's a chance for Netanyahu. No. We all know there's not a chance. No, and so does he. Which means that Palestine is going to be recognised as a state in September by the UK. And the genocide will continue. And nothing will change. That's a separate discussion. Now, if you ask me... Nothing. No, now if you ask me, and what will it mean? I say it'll mean nothing. It means nothing is going to change. Nothing. But he knows very well that Netanyahu is not going to agree to that. To those no, I agree, but it renders the whole thing totally. But what he's done at the same time, he's reduced the offer of statehood to not an inalienable right, but actually a transactional, negotiable.
He's dehumanized the Palestinians yet again.
I mean, his scriptwriter needed to fucking think about this.
The world leaders, the way they consistently try and dehumanize, and you know what? They're more human than any of you lot.
Okay, well here's the next part of the equation, because
let's read some of these. JJ, I have to agree with Nadia. Oh, I didn't read that on purpose because you said over 250 MPs have signed a letter about Palestinian as a state. Oh, sorry, it's gone.
Just 1 second. Which one? I have to agree with Nadia. JJ, over 250 MPs have signed a letter about Palestinian as a state. So Keir knows Israel won't change nothing, and therefore he will. No. You see, yes, I agree. Yes, that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
but the reason,
but he doesn't make it right.
No, but also the other reason he's come out today, he's got a 500,000 strong left-wing party led by Jeremy Corbyn and Zara
Sultana. But you're conflating all these things. We're saying we're going to agree with everything you're saying here, but we're saying he knows Israel's not going to do it, and he's going to recognise the state of Palestine in September. Now let's move on. A, he's done this because he's under pressure and it's lip service and all those things. B, it will make no blind bit of difference to the situation for the poor souls in Palestine. It will make no difference for them. Yes, 100%.
Well, okay. In answer to the fact that now we can totally ignore everything he said and ignore even the gesture politics that I think YouTube's saying it's not a step in the right direction. Let me tell you why. Because Netanyahu has already responded 15 minutes ago on Twitter. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Starmer rewards Hamas's monstrous terrorism and punishes its victims. A jihadist state on Israel's border today will threaten Britain tomorrow.
We are not
Appeasement towards jihadist terrorists always fails. It will fail you too. It will not happen. And I would argue that the statement Starmer's made today is the next sorry saga in his appeasement of Israel, actually. I don't think this is about, there's no negotiating power here. There's nothing, there's no threat.
Nothing.
There's no threat. All he's done is, as you rightly said, is dehumanize the nation of Palestine like a piece in a fucking chessboard.
It's just terrific.
So,
but you know, watch what Netanyahu is trying to do to all of us now. He's trying to do what he's managed to do to the Israeli people, which is to make them so terrified, to make them believe that he's the only one that can protect them from the mad jihadist world out there. And he's trying to do the same. I mean, he's been saying it from the beginning, hasn't he? We're fighting the war for you in Iran, for all of you.
Yeah, he's fighting
because the jihadists will come for you, because the savages will come for you. And he's trying it here again.
It's total theatrics from Starmer. This is, I made a note of it here, this is, diplomatically speaking, this is Starmer doing diplomatically what David Beckham did on his stories yesterday. It's doing the bare minimum. It's a gesture. It means nothing. It's full of sound and not really any fury.
All mouth and no trousers.
All mouth and no trousers. And it changes, for the Palestinians on the ground, it changes not a scintilla of what's happening to them or for them. And I just want to pull him up on one other thing he said.
Let me just have a look at that. There's quite a few people with opinions on this. Oxidus
Magicus. It's not enough, I agree, chat, but we must take wins where we get them. If the UK recognises Palestine, other countries will follow. Right,
how does that feel on wonderful Palestinians on the ground?
I don't know how to break the news to you. Sorry to be a real killjoy. The vast majority of countries in the world do recognise Palestine.
It's only the G7.
It's only the G7. It's only Australia, New Zealand, a couple of European countries, America and Canada,
that refuse.
And they're all already moving in the right direction anyway because of the egregious famine, apart from America. So I'm sorry to be disheartening. I disagree. I don't think it does offer that.
No, I agree with you, Oxidus. I think the fact that it is going to, it's like anything. It's like the way now the celebrities, some of them are sticking their noses out and going, oh, shall I say something now? That's the way it goes. It's frightening to stand against. It's frightening to stand up. And France goes first, then the UK goes, and they will come after. But America never will, of course, because America is Israel.
Amy, if countries recognise it as a state in September, does recognition make any difference though, or is it still worse? Let me tell you exactly what would change it. The only thing that would change anything is if America
decides
recognised Palestine as a state.
Stop financing, funding, promoting, and pushing the genocide,
but also
for their own needs.
But I also think the only country that the act of recognising, look, We have 150 countries around the world recognizing it as a
know.
state, and nothing has changed. We've got to this point with
because
recognition.
those countries don't get the same respect. It's the G7. It's the richest countries in the world, and everyone else is irrelevant.
Why has it taken
That's
nearly
disgusting.
2 years to get to the point where Starmer says this? Only
now-
when he's in a political, only
Yeah.
when he's in a political corner, when his back is up against the wall, when many of his politicians cross-party politicians are putting pressure on him. Now, I'm sorry, the point I'm trying to make is 150 countries. Are we still imperially minded? So imperially minded that only when we want to acknowledge a Palestinian state,
of course we
it
are.
means something.
Do you not think that we are? Do you not think the world is
It means
completely
nothing
imperial?
to anyone.
It's completely that way. I mean, Me Too makes just Me Too's one. The G7 is
becoming irrelevant.
It's relevant. We're moving to a G1 world.
Yeah,
wow.
I totally agree.
You know what? Do you know somebody? I was talking to some people at Save the Children today, and somebody reminded me of Biden. Do you remember when Biden said, I'm a Zionist and I support Israel. If there wasn't Israel, we'd have to invent it.
Who said that?
Biden.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I went, oh God, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And why? Because Israel is the aircraft carrier for
America
in the middle of all those lands that have so many riches. And so, yeah, G1, I love that.
I want to call out his use of 4 words right at the beginning of his speech there. I think one other person picked up on it too. This is what he said: the catastrophic failure of aid.
The failure of aid?
Hang on, so
or the man-made
failed,
famine, the siege?
Or did Israel make aid fail?
Disgusting.
He actually said the catastrophic failure of aid. He didn't hold Israel accountable.
Neither did UNICEF with their statement. We are pleased to announce that Israel is allowing food in. This is a siege by Israel that has caused a catastrophic man-made famine that could be fixed by them just allowing the trucks through the border.
Maria Berridge mentioned something I want to comment on, actually. So why can't 150 countries link together and militarily intervene to get the borders open and protect the Palestinians? Well, on that, Turkey has joined Colombia. There is a group of Southern Hemisphere, I know Turkey isn't Southern Hemisphere, but BRICS countries, as well as which are the countries that unite around Russia and China. There's a number of countries that are trying to pull together, and they've issued a statement. I forget what their identifying kind of acronym is. But Turkey is now one of them, and they are all basically saying we need to take more direct action outside of the ICJ, outside of NATO. And in fact, Turkey and Colombia go so far as to describe NATO as an imperialist nation supporter.
And the ICJ has been defunct, basically, hasn't it? By sanctions in America and threats by Netanyahu. Yeah. Reese just said Jeremy Corbyn's tweet.
Well, let me just show these. I've got Philip Proudfoot says decent MPs need to table a no confidence motion in Starmer now. He's just used the recognition of Palestine as a bargaining chip in exchange for Israel following its basic legal obligations. This is one of the lowest political acts in living memory. Dahlia, these are various kind of activists and campaigners. Having a state, i.e. not being stateless, is not a reward, it's a right, says Dahlia Gabriel. Owen Jones, Palestinian statehood is an inalienable right, which the UK should accept in all circumstances. I've never understood this over the years. Why do we offer it as some kind of when the conditions are right?
It's always been used as a smokescreen to make it look like they're doing something.
Keir Starmer has chosen the most symbolic move rather than sweeping sanctions and an arms embargo. Don't be duped. I don't have actually Jeremy Corbyn's tweet at hand. Maybe
I'm not on Twitter.
Okay.
I am.
The other thing I also want to just quickly mention that he said in his speech: ceasefire. We need to get a sustainable ceasefire. What the world's press is not telling anyone is that the biggest block to a ceasefire is Israel. Israel keeps shifting the focus. Now, you know, Hamas, Israel, Qatar, Egypt, America, there's been lots of kind of negotiations that have gone on. Whenever they get close to an agreement, it's known
and the Israeli negotiators have said the same. Netanyahu, because don't
Israel
forget,
scuppers it.
Netanyahu has so many allegations.
Israel
He's supposed to be in
it.
court. He has to keep this going. And there's more and more demonstrations in Israel now because the Israelis, you know, many of the Israelis are saying, he needs this war to go on forever until the day he dies to keep himself out of prison. Shilly, honestly, it feels like Starmer is telling Netanyahu, stop killing babies or I'll punish you with a Palestinian state. I do believe it's the new party that is scaring Starmer. What do we think on that, guys?
Yeah,
do you think he's getting very, it's very difficult for him, isn't it? Because
very twitchy bum.
Because with reform and all the noise around reform could get in and all this, he started to try and swing a bit to be a bit more like reform. Now is he going to, is this him trying to swing a bit to be a bit more like your party? Who are you? Who are you? Where is your moral clarity? Where is your political clarity? Who are you, Keir Starmer, and what do you want?
I think it's so hysterical that both the Conservatives and the Labour Party could potentially be facing political Armageddon because they've tried to appeal to everyone and everything, rather than just saying whether you agree with it or not, and I don't agree with anything reform represents. But if it's an ideology that you believe in and it's a strong one for you and it's right for you, well and good. The thing I can't stand about the Conservatives or the Tories, less the Conservatives actually, they've just stayed pretty damn repulsive for years. But the Labour Party have, and Tony Blair was the greatest example of this, have morphed and twisted and tried to kind of adjust what socialism is just to fit the rubric rather than actually winning the argument or changing the political system. Definitely worried about the new party. Lots of people saying
he's definitely worried about the party.
What's
that I've worked with?
Ali C, I've worked with NGOs. They're not at fault. They aren't being allowed in. They will be prepped to go in. They know how to put infrastructure in place and do it quickly.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But
they're blaming them now.
Israel are blaming the UN's.
They have blamed, let's face it, they've blamed every single person, haven't they now?
Yeah.
It's the aid agencies, it's Hamas, it's the
Fezziwig. Israeli psychology as world is morally outraged at death camps in Gaza. See, the world hates the Jews.
Yeah.
He's done bad things for Jewish people. He really has around the world.
Yeah.
Shauna Roche, they're trying to appeal to the racists in the country until they realize just how many of us aren't racist scum. We aren't all reform.
Lovely.
Very good point. I mean, but again, it does speak to just, the thing that we often say to our kids, be true to you, be true to who you are, stay close to your truth of what you feel and what your instincts are. And you tend to get a better result. It doesn't mean you get on with everyone, and it doesn't mean you appeal to everyone.
Who hate Starmer, the Liberals and the right wing.
Karen Hula, one thing that the Liberals and far right agree with is they all hate Starmer.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Why does it never work for me?
Because you have to click on the left when you've got that.
Abby Reed, hi Abby, how are you doing? Don't forget that Trump has a squeaky bum over the Epstein stuff. He'll push any agenda to get people to stop talking about the list. Yeah. And it's interesting because, of course, in America, they know very little. They seem very ill-informed on what's going on in Gaza. But I noticed, I said to you today, one of their big late night comedy guys last night was actually talking about the disgraceful situation in Gaza. And, showing clips of Bernie Sanders and everything. God, that's a shift. But is that what they want in America, to take him away from the Epstein part, take everyone away? Yeah,
exactly. I just want to read this out. This is by the Muslim Council of Britain. The Muslim Council of Britain has issued a statement accusing Sir Keir Starmer of emboldening. This is interesting because all we hear about from Israel is that this will embolden Hamas. You rarely get a chance to, and ironically, it's the Telegraph publishing this because they see it as extremist and ridiculous, but actually you get the quote. So listen to this. Muslim Council of Britain has issued a statement accusing Keir Starmer of emboldening Israel's extremist government. Dr. Green said, having been shamed into action by other world leaders like Macron's announcement last Friday that France will recognize Palestine without conditions, and the horrifying scenes of avoidable man-made starvation in Gaza, millions of Britons continue to watch our government's empty words and ask, where is the tangible action? Linking Palestinian recognition to a ceasefire, while Israel carries out genocide, starvation, and the destruction of civilian life, is morally indefensible. It rewards aggression and emboldens an extremist government. And the reason I wanted to read this quote, we are just bombarded with the other flip side of that argument from Israel all the time. This rewards Hamas. This rewards terrorism. This rewards bad behavior. Actually, it doesn't take an enormous stroke of imagination to just go, exactly the opposite is the case with the same statement. Do you get me? I mean, the same thing and that's what Starmer's done today. He has done absolutely nothing to stop the genocide and increase the aid. He's done nothing. He said words. He has said words because he's been forced to. Oh,
Well, exactly, Ali. See, there is so much more than the food. There's the sanitation, there's the medicines, there's, you know, it's like the world seems to just be rising a little bit because there's starvation, but there are so many more needs than that. And as we were talking about a couple of days ago, this refeeding syndrome, if you give them starving people that have been on 500 calories and less a day, and you suddenly give them food, they can die within 24 hours. So it's so... Those
Sending you
boxes
love,
being
Amy.
thrown out of the bloody aeroplanes.
Oh,
Jesus
it's an
Christ.
insult.
What an
Absolute
theatrics.
insult. This is a post by the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. This is a dangerous precedent.
Oh God, what? Rupert the Bear.
Oh, Rupert the Bear. He does look like Rupert the Bear, actually.
Paddington.
Israel, as we said, Starmer.
I think it's
Israel
more like
rejects.
Rupert the Bear than
Yeah, I
Paddington.
do. Israel rejects the statement by the Prime Minister. The shift in the British government's position at this time is a reward for Hamas. So you've got both sides of it. Corbyn lashes out at Starmer over recognition. Jeremy Corbyn has lashed out at Keir Starmer, the former Labour leader, who's in the process of setting up his own hard left party, said recognition is an inalienable right of the Palestinian people and should not be used as a threat. I have to say, the speech writer made a huge mistake.
It's a terrible speech.
It's a terrible speech.
Because it feels like it's done in a hurry. Oh, they're up to 400,000 now, your party.
Yeah.
It feels a bit like that.
Yeah, exactly. It sounded and looked pretty good to his core voters, says Stephanie. Watching the news with their Horlicks, it's just awful. APAC will be upset. I mean, we're all waiting for America's direct response. I think in unconfirmed responses from the White House to journalists at the BBC say they echo their statements regarding Macron. And absolutely nothing will change anything for Israel. If 150 to 160 nations around the world recognizing Palestine hadn't changed anything for the last however many years they have, a bunch of us imperialist nations jumping on board now, very late in the day, isn't going to change anything for Israel either, at all. I mean, it's as simple as that.
I wonder if Betty's here. Betty, what does Teddy think? What do you think? That's my mum and dad. They live next door. My dad's Jordanian, if anybody is new to
Yes,
it.
the Board of Deputy Zionists have said, of course, they're all very concerned. Very concerned that a Palestinian state is, you know, I've always thought it was very strange when they said only when the conditions are right. And now they're saying the conditions could be right, but they'll only be right if Israel stops doing what it's doing. It's just all so fucking stupid.
Frida, Americans are getting deported via ICE. How far are we really from this reality in this country?
Oh, if reform get in,
we have to keep our eyes very wide open. He did a speech a couple of days ago, Farage, where he talked about using all the COVID hospitals as prisons. We heard that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, with the alligator prisons and Trump and whipping up hate against immigrants.
We wouldn't have alligator prisons. We'd have hedgehog hovels, wouldn't we? Hedgehog hostels.
Yeah.
Or fox something or others. Netanyahu, Giuliana Scialanga, that's the understatement of the year. Juliana, sorry. Understatement of the year. Netanyahu has an air of smugness.
Oh God, you're
more
not joking.
pronounced now he's getting away with stealing Gaza. And yes,
that smile of his, like Mr. Potato. Think of Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. You will never be able to unsee it as Netanyahu. They are the image of each other.
Now, just remember, Netanyahu has presented a proposal to the Knesset, to the Israeli government, to the Israeli parliament, basically saying that they will annex 5 individual parts of Gaza. So I just want to stress this. It's happening right now. So they basically, he's got a proposal. It's the way in which he's going to hold his government together.
Approved by Trump.
The West Bank settlements are moving at speed. We are going to do a special focus on the settlers at the moment because the footage coming out and coming through, the tragic killing of this young man who was working on the No Other Land documentary. You know, this is happening. He said we are annexing these 5 parts of Gaza. Once an annexation happens, it belongs to Israel. It's happened.
Again, you know, as I was having this conversation again today, I was doing some stuff for Save the Children, and I was saying, listen, nobody can be shocked about anything because the one thing that has happened throughout this aggression is that we've been told every step of the way what they're going to do, and they have not failed us.
No.
They've done everything exactly as they said. And the next thing, like I keep saying, the Gaza Riviera will be coming. The Gaza Riviera. They told us. They told us about the annexing.
Well, no. And also, look, some news for Keir Starmer. You don't need to, because he said he's going to wait till September, didn't he, to see if the conditions still persist for him to recognize the state of Palestine. You don't need to wait. Here you go. Benjamin Netanyahu has told you
it's not
right
happening.
Here. He did it 14 minutes ago. Look, top right, 14 minutes ago.
So don't wait till September. Just get it done now.
Get your comms team to go on X and just have a look at his account. He's told you now that your statement today is irrelevant. So move on. Don't.
I wonder how he will react to that, actually.
Starmer.
Yeah.
He needs to, because he's literally got this.
Because then he's even more blancmange.
Exactly.
Wibbly wobbly jelly and blancmange.
So tomorrow, every single journalist worth their salt shouldn't be interviewing Starmer about his statement and how he's got there and why he's got there. They need to be asking him, okay, all well and good, but it means nothing. Have you seen what the Prime Minister of Israel has said? So what are you going to do now?
Yes. Wouldn't it be great if we had some journalists that could talk to him like that?
Yeah. What are you going to do now, Keir? Well, I don't really know, actually. I might just go to bed. I might just have to go to bed. I just can't do any of this anymore.
You've got to inhabit him.
I've got to do his inner thoughts.
You've got to do his inner thoughts with the Trump.
When he was talking about the fucking windmills,
they won't let us put it in the safe.
I've just lost the will to live.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
So, my darlings, thank you so much. Please hit the subscribe button. Help us out by supporting us in that way. It doesn't cost you anything, and it means a lot to us. But what means even more is when you share these videos in Gaza, because, as you know, as we talk about every day, the power of the little fixing of the words. Go and look at David Beckham's appalling announcement via UNICEF.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, we're gone by now.
It's gone. There's no evidence of it at all.
So
he's done his bit. That's it.
So he won't lose any of his sponsorship deals that he must really, really need.
Still need, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is it those that have so much money always want so much more?
Yeah.
Do you know, I heard a statistic today that was quite incredible. There are 50 families in this country who together have more money than 50% of this country.
Wow.
That's on Nova Media.
Wow. There you go.
Isn't that a piece? And he was saying, and yet we're constantly told if we fix the tax a bit more, we're going to lose all our millionaires. Do you know what? Let them go.
Yeah. It's bullshit, says Dana Ron. Yeah, it's bullshit. The UK is saying this in order to not do anything else, and in order to still allow Israel to commit its genocide. They hope that by September there won't be anyone left. Well, by September there won't be. Yeah.
How are they going to be?
How are they going to deal with this then? I mean, fucking hell, what a mess.
All these people, none of these people in power have a decent legacy.
Mess.
None of them.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Nora Doyle, vulgar.
Yeah.
Love that. I haven't heard that word for ages. It's a very good word, vulgar.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in the morning for coffee moaning.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Be
See
there.
you there.
Bye.